Hey there, all you knowledge seekers. So you're scrolling through YouTube, right? And bam, you come across this channel, Life Hacks and Snacks.
A podcast.
Apparently.
I mean, life hacks, A&D snacks.
I know, right? It's like, what? What is this, a cooking show? A self-help seminar?
Definitely an interesting concept.
Definitely. Okay, so today we're going to do a deep dive into something I think is pretty interesting.
All right.
We've got a whole bunch of advice
Okay.
from dads.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that sparked all this advice was, if you had a daughter,
Okay.
what would you warn her about when it comes to dating?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And there's some really fascinating stuff in here.
Yeah, I bet.
And I'm excited to kind of dig into it with you.
Yeah, me too. I'm curious to see what these dads had to say.
Well, one of the first things that really jumped out at me
Okay.
was just how much they emphasize safety.
Really?
It's not just like, oh, be careful out there.
Right.
It's very specific, like meet in public places.
Mm-hmm.
Share your location with friends.
Interesting.
Almost like they're anticipating potential problems.
Yeah, it really does feel like a safety-first mentality.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's kind of a reflection of, how dating has changed, especially with online dating and social media. Yeah. It just seems like maybe there's more to be aware of these days.
Definitely. I mean, they even talk about things like, let people know where you're going, who you're going to be with.
Exactly. It's like have a plan.
Yeah, safety plan.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And it makes me wonder, if it's partly because they've seen how things can go wrong.
Right. And they're just trying to equip their daughters with all the tools they need.
Totally. And it really connects to another big theme that came up a lot.
What's that?
Which is knowing your worth.
Oh, absolutely.
There's this one quote that I just thought was so powerful.
Okay.
It said, "Don't shrink yourself to fit into spaces that weren't meant for you."
Wow. That's powerful.
And I feel like that's not just about dating.
No, it's about life.
Yeah.
It's about knowing who you are and what you deserve.
Exactly.
And not settling for less.
And a lot of the dads talk about self-worth in terms of setting boundaries.
Oh, yeah. Boundaries are so important.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just about recognizing your value.
Right.
But actually defending it.
Exactly, like saying no when you need to.
Yeah, and just
setting those limits.
Making it clear.
Yeah.
This is what I will and will not accept.
Absolutely. That's a sign of real strength.
Right, and I think that's ultimately what these dads want for their daughters.
Yeah, to be strong and confident.
Yeah, and to be able to make good choices.
Mm-hmm. Make smart choices for themselves.
And it was interesting how many of them talked about looking beyond just the superficial stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, sure, attraction matters.
Of course.
But it's not enough.
Right. It's going to be more than that.
They want their daughters to look for kindness.
Mm-hmm. Kindness is key.
Respect.
Definitely.
Shared values.
Yeah, you need that foundation.
Yeah, like the things that actually build a lasting relationship.
It's like that saying, you can't build a castle on a foundation of sand. You need something solid to build on.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Because a lot of these dads, they talk about open communication.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Right, of course.
But then some of them also seem to be advocating for like these strict rules and boundaries.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Especially in the early stages of dating.
Okay.
So do you think that kind of contradicts the whole idea of open communication?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, because it seems like...
It's almost like they're saying be open.
Yeah.
But only up to a point.
Right.
I think it's that classic parenting struggle.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You want to protect your kids.
Right.
But you also want them to be independent.
To make their own choices.
Exactly. Even if those choices might lead to some mistakes.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance.
Right, between guidance and giving them space to figure things out.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's talk about red flags.
Ah, yes, the red flags.
This is where it gets really interesting.
I know, right? The dads get so specific.
Yeah.
It's like they've seen it all.
And they're trying to warn their daughters about...
Yeah, all the potential pitfalls.
like what to watch out for.
Exactly.
And I think it highlights how important it is to trust your gut.
Oh, absolutely. Your gut feeling is usually right.
Yeah, because it's easy to get caught up.
Right. Especially in a new relationship.
Yeah, all the excitement and everything.
Yeah, you got to be realistic.
But it's important to pay attention.
To those warning signs.
Yeah, like controlling behavior.
That's a big one.
Disrespect.
Yeah, if someone's not treating you with respect,
yeah,
that's a huge red flag.
Or pressuring you to move too fast.
Right. You got to set your own pace.
Yeah, and a lot of times these things start subtly.
Exactly. It's those little things
that
can escalate if you're not careful.
And I feel like if someone had like sat me down and given me this list of red flags when I first started dating,
Yeah.
It would have saved me a lot of trouble.
I know, right?
But hey, it's never too late to learn.
Never too late.
So I think one of the most important things that these dads emphasize is not settling.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, they really hammer this point home.
They do.
One dad even said,
Okay.
"You are a prize, not a participation trophy."
I love that.
Isn't that great?
It's so true.
Talk about knowing what you deserve.
Yeah, and not compromising your standards.
Yeah. And I think it really speaks to what these dads ultimately want for their daughters.
Right. They want them to be happy,
Yeah.
to find fulfilling relationships.
Partnerships that bring out the best in them.
Exactly. They want their daughters to thrive.
And I think the advice we've talked about today, it goes beyond just romantic relationships.
Oh, for sure.
It's about all kinds of relationships.
Yeah, like friendships,
Yeah.
family relationships,
Work relationships.
knowing your worth, setting boundaries, communicating openly.
Those are important.
Those are essential life skills.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious.
Okay.
What advice would you give to someone who's just starting to date
Oh, that's a great question.
based on everything we've talked about?
Well, I think the most important thing is to remember that you're in charge of your own story. You get to decide what kind of love story you want to write.
That's a good way to put it.
Take the advice that resonates with you. You trust your gut.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to write a story that's uniquely your own.
Love it.
Yeah.
Some great advice.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.
See you, Couple. Bye.